Hello guys, and welcome to an exclusive Company of Heroes 3 video today by me, Vulcan. I'm incredibly excited to have for you a preview of the gameplay in Company of Heroes 3 and what you can start to expect on release. This was recorded on an early access build, so please remember that things may be subject to change. But just over a week ago, I was grateful to be invited to a unique Company of Heroes 3 press event. A massive thank you to Relic and Sega for the opportunity. It gave me a hands-on preview of the Italian and Africa campaigns that will feature on release, as well as some time playing multiplayer. There is a lot to go through, so I'm going to try and show you guys as much as I can. Now, the Italian campaign has come a long way from what we saw in the pre-alpha back in July. It now features a fully fledged story, beautifully voice acted, to really get you immersed into the campaign. Let me show you what I mean.
Dear Maggie, it's been a while, I know. Sorry, I've never been as good with words as you. I just finished up 5 months in North Africa. Didn't see a single German all the while I was there. We were training mostly, lots of marching up and down, cleaning boots, and getting yelled at. Reminded me of Fort Riley. No one knew where we were gonna end up, of course, just that we needed to be ready. One of the Brits, Roy, fed me some chocolate. We'd be heading to Italy. General Buckram arrived a couple weeks back. Seems like a decent guy. Very confident, I guess you'd call it. He doesn't like the Brit General Norton, though. They're like oil and water. Buckram's mood got worse every time he talked to him, and we bore the brunt of it. Nearly wore my fingers to the bone cleaning my damn rifle. Roy got his chocolate a couple weeks back. We're off to Sicily. I was glad to be away from the heat. Not so glad to be wandering around the Mediterranean hoping the German subs wouldn't find us. We all breathed a sigh of relief when they announced we were finally headed to dry land. Captain McKay's here. Gives me some confidence that at least one person knows what he's doing. Well, I guess it's nearly time to leave, so I'd better go find somewhere to sit. Try to write more, if I can. Love always, Joe.
Move! All right, we've got to clear this beach before the rest of the troops can come ashore. We've got support on our flanks, but we need to take out those guns or they'll tear our ships apart. Godspeed, men!
Welcome to the gameplay, guys. This is the first short introductory mission that you get access to in the Italian campaign.
We've got troops pinned down by that HMG. Pull them out of there now!
I'm going to be taking you guys through it as I played it at the event.
Thanks, Corporal.
You can see that basically it's a tutorial mission for the campaign, but it gives us a really good opportunity to look at some of the awesome animations and graphics that Company of Heroes is well known for. At the beginning there, got my retreat order in, just moved around to try and flank the MG bunker that's ahead of us. So just moving around the flank here, get a grenade on target there. Beautiful explosion, takes out tons of guys. I'm pushing onto the bunker. Get the flamers nice and close to burn them out of cover. Flamers naturally always been good at taking out enemies from heavy cover. Making good use of that.
Our defenses are cracking! Advance!
The objective here is to destroy a couple of these big 88s that are further up on the beach. And in order to get there, I've got to clear out a bunch of the infantry that's in my way. Start to get flanked here on the left by a couple of Volks Grenadiers. Make sure to melt them behind the truck there. Briefly had my rifles in cover, but I kicked them out of the building. They get hit by flamethrowers themselves. A couple of bits of the light, they managed to brush it off. going to use my own flamers to return the favor. Brilliant stuff. See the guy there running off as he's on fire. It's pretty brutal, to be honest. Get another grenade up on the top. Nice lob there. AI's going to try and dodge it, but runs straight into that flamethrower. I'm going to continue up to get a satchel charge onto this gun. Boom goes the first objective.
That's the first gun dealt with. Just one more to go.
You can see Company of Heroes still has the right-click cover gameplay that has been staple in the series for so long. In the bottom right, you can see the hotkeys for the abilities I'm using, like the grenades and satchels. Everything about this mission just felt so smooth. Gonna get another grenade up onto the gun there. And moving in nice and close, but the destructible terrain really catching me out here. One barrel boom, second barrel boom, sets like half of my squad alight. Thankfully, able to just finish off that AT.
That's all the guns down.
The Krauts are retreating. Let's get an HQ set up.
The mission doesn't end there. It goes on to introduce some of the base management and continues to push deeper into the town. But for now, I'm going to be switching away from that to look at the dynamic campaign, as well as some unique footage of the Africa campaign. As I mentioned before, the Italian dynamic campaign has improved tenfold since the pre-alpha, with many adjustments made. I'm actually really excited to do a full playthrough on release. After the introductory missions on Sicily, the war moves to the mainland, and you're tasked with taking a foothold to begin with. The ultimate objective in the full campaign looks like it will be taking Rome.
Sir, we're sending an advance force to Calabria to lay the groundwork for the landings at Salerno and Taranto. The company will be under your direct command.
Using the companies that you deploy, the way in which you play the campaign after the tutorial opens up massively.
Let's get moving.
The men are doing the best they can, sir, but they'll need to rest before they can advance much further.
Aside from just moving around and doing objectives in different orders, characters will give the player missions, and depending on which you complete, will give you access to unique reinforcements or opportunities.
Sir, capturing Tropia will allow us to bring more troops ashore to solidify our hold in Calabria. That should be our first priority.
Commander, I appreciate Norton's love of ports, but I like to look at the bigger picture. Capturing Chittenova will keep the pressure on the Germans. We should head there first. We could get to Tropia later, Commander. Capturing Chittenova will let us keep hounding the Krauts. That's what we're here for.
A wise decision, sir.
There is even a loyalty system that seems quite robust. Completing objectives favoured by certain characters will increase your standing with them, allowing you to unlock all sorts of upgrades for your forces. This will further make each playthrough unique, and having gone through some of the available upgrades, it will definitely impact the way you play. The start of the main campaign also makes you take a choice of company. I of course chose the British Indian Artillery Company to get me rolling, but let's just take a moment to understand the scope of the campaign and the gorgeous scenery.
British forces are approaching Salerno, sir. The port will be critical in maintaining a strong logistical base as we establish control of the region.
Don't forget our real objective, Norton. We need to take Rome as soon as possible. We can't just sit back and let the Krauts get comfortable.
Only fools rush in, old boy. Our men cannot be expected to face Germany's forces without adequate supplies.
Don't worry, Norton. The commander and I will get us to Rome. Then your men can have all the supplies they want.
Our ships are stationed near Salerno, sir. I recommend we begin with a troop landing. It will give us the element of surprise.
That's horseshit, Clarence. The damn Krauts have been targeting our convoy since we left Sicily. Let the Navy do their thing and soften up the defenses before we send the boys in.
How should we proceed, sir?
That's the right call, Commander. Fire when you're ready, and we'll give those Germans a wake-up call they won't forget. All ships, open fire! All right, Clarence. We've softened them up for you.
And with that awesome bombardment, let's finally move on to the Africa campaign. Contrary to the Italian campaign, the African campaign is a more linear, story-based experience. Fans of Co 1 will feel a familiarity in the concept of a rich story told in an RTS environment. For me, it really exudes what Company of Heroes is all about.
Welcome to the Cauldron. As you can see, we are surrounded by British mines in almost every direction. That is good. It means we are not surrounded by British troops, and they won't dare cross the field. But we do.
Welcome to the Africa campaign. Unfortunately, I couldn't show the awesome cutscenes, but the overarching story is really one to look forward to.
A decoy attack to the north is keeping the British occupied, but it is only a matter of time before they turn their attention to us. Hold your position. We've established a base on the other side of the minefield, and I'm issuing a squad to come to your aid.
Utility vehicle standing by.
Enemy forces are approaching your location. I expect an attack from the north and northeast. We are almost through the mines, but you must resist until we get there.
As the battle gets underway, I wanted to give some thoughts. First of all, I think the game looks great. The presentation of Company of Heroes is always really good. With feedback from the community, they've really nailed the art style, in my opinion. Second, you've got to appreciate the sound design. From the troop calls to the character voices, the gun sounds, the explosions, even the awesome music, everything really comes together. Finally, the gameplay is solid. It's based on a strong foundation, and the cover gameplay has always been fantastic in the series. On top of that, we now have more verticality and the breach mechanics, and that will influence tactics moving forwards. Bring on the high ground memes. Another thing is camera distance. Coming from Still Division 2, I've always been spoiled by crazy zoom distances, so playing Co 2 was always a step down. But Company of Heroes 3 definitely feels better in comparison by allowing a strong tactical approach whilst also providing graphical fidelity to match. There is room for improvement, mind you. Pathing needs to be and will be worked on. Sound balance can be a bit out of whack sometimes, with the AT rifles and Brens being the main offenders. Some missions could use a bit of tuning as well. Overall though, from what I saw, the game is incredibly promising, and with just over 2 months still till release, I'm confident that many things like this can be improved. This mission was a great example of how fun the game already is. It was a solid challenge that took me longer than expected, there were multiple objectives throughout, and it culminated in an epic counterattack by British forces on my defences. I had to use multiple types of tanks, infantry and artillery, even cool recon units that I didn't even know existed. I had to capture enemy equipment, and even use logistics to keep my armour repaired and salvage previously destroyed vehicles. There was the option to tow heavy equipment to help me out, and ride my tanks into battle. There are just so many tactical options which just made it so much more exciting. Company of Heroes 3 has huge potential to really revitalise the RTS genre, and I'm really excited to play it some more. Once again, a massive thank you to Relic and Sega for inviting me to the event and allowing me to bring this footage to you guys. In the future, I'll hopefully have some multiplayer footage playing up against AECO. That's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, if you'd like to pre-order Company of Heroes 3, you can support the channel directly by using the code VulcanHDGaming at checkout. I'd massively appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Enemy fire is too heavy! Go on, lads!
one, cheeky little wanker!